Welcome back to episode 15 of building a theme park without any game passes. And today we are going to build something new. Last episode I said we were going to build inside of the cave right there, but no, we're not going to do that since we got a new update today. And as you can see, I'm level up and I can now unlock the Bobsled Coaster. There we go. And that's also the roller coaster we are going to be building in this video. I have prepared this little bit of an area here, and as you can see, it has turned into a snowy area all the way at the top. This is, I think, a great area for it. I made it a little bit lower so we had some more room actually for the bobsled, since first it was all flat. But yeah, let's just get straight into building the bobsled coaster. Now this is probably going to be not a traditional layout, since it's going to be weird with the terrain and how I'm going to make it. I am going to try my best. This is also like the first time I'm actually going to try and make an actual layout with this coaster. Where do I start? Alright, I think this as a stage is quite good. Now of course, the height, it's not that much. Basically, both of these rides are all the way onto the limit. So as you will see, if I go up here, that's already the limit. We cannot go up that high, but that's why we can go all the way down in that hole. So yeah, we're going to try and make this as high as possible, of course. Which is, by the looks of things, going to be that. And then we're going to press on the star icon to, of course, make the track width actually, wider. And then it's time for the layout. So first of all, I'm probably going to use a little bit of this space. And then we're actually going to go down the mountain and maybe even add a second chain lift. I'm not 100% sure. So we will go down here for the start. And yeah, of course, this coaster, it rotates. It freely rotates. So we can actually use, of course, the banking very nice on this roller coaster. There we go. And we can probably add a nice tower or something here. I have still actually not a real plan of what to do for the actual area here. I don't just want trees everywhere. So we'll have to come up with something that's sort of winterish. Alright, there we go. Now we have somewhat of a start. Now, before we build the whole layout, I definitely want to keep testing this roller coaster, since that's very important actually, since this coaster sometimes does still some weird stuff. The physics are still a bit weird, so I have to actually see if it's not hitting or crashing into walls at some weird points. So let's see, we are going to go down here. That looks pretty good. I like that. Alright, and then that actually seemed pretty good. And I think if we just instantly start to swing here again, I definitely want to just try and make this ride swing a lot. Oh, this is what do you mean? There's something there. You see how far that away is the game. But yeah, as you can see, we are already quite low to the plot, which is not ideal. So we'll see where we're going to go from here on. We'll of course have to add some sort of second chain lift somewhere, and probably block breaks actually, which I think if we place that right here and then just make that go all the way back to 0. Can we snap this to the grid? That actually seemed to work pretty good. And then I think if we do 1-2 block breaks, that should work. But that doesn't mean I am finished with the layout yet. I actually want to continue before we actually go into the next chain lift. I think we have still a little bit of room and speed left. There is going to be a sharp turn here. I don't think I need that much. That's the very nice thing, is since you can just choose how much you want this. And of course, we just came out of the block breaks. Block breaks go very slow, or just you slow down a lot, of course, since we cannot change it. So I think that's pretty good. And then we are going to go try and under here. Or I hope I left enough room. Okay, well, let's see if I can make this fit. It should fit, I think. Let me remove some of the terrain, and oh, this is going to be fun, isn't it? Yeah, let's try that. This should fit, right? Yes, there we go. Now that's of course the end of the plot, so we'll have to look more out for that, since we cannot go all the way there. What do you mean it's in the way of there? I will be back with you guys once I actually have figured out how to get through this part here, since it seems not to be working. Alright, there we go. And now we are going to go up for the second chain lift. Of course, again, as high as we can. Well, at this point we know it's not that much. And now we need to sort of slowly, of course, head back to the actual station. So we'll have to add a turn here, which is going to be quite sharp. And I guess this is then going to be the biggest drop of the whole ride, which I think is fine. Let me place it. This is a very difficult coaster to build, I'm going to be honest, since just the shape of it is so big and very difficult to work with, as you can tell. Which is, not ideal when you do not have any game passes and, let's say, not that much space left. So this is, of course, the fastest point of the ride, so we can actually go up probably quite high. As you can see, this is going to be a strange layout for this coaster type, but I guess that's just sort of what we have with the room. Okay, maybe this is not going to fit what I'm now trying to do. I just keep on getting just these errors the whole time. And I'm not even sure where that's coming from. What do you want me to do here? What I might maybe do is like add block breaks here. Bridge the gap of this. And then we can go down again. Apart from that, we'll of course hit the lock flume there. Here we go. This is going to be difficult. This is never going to fit, is it? Is it this hard? Like, there's so much room left. What do you mean I'm not allowed to fit here? Okay, well, maybe if we go even more to the left, but probably not. Since then, we're hitting the lock flume again. Oh my god. Okay, I do not actually know where to go now. I'm kind of stuck. So I will be back with you guys once I've actually gone back to the station, which I'm scared is going to take a while, but I don't know where to go.
3 weeks later.
Alright, it is now 2 weeks later. I have built over 5 different layouts. The physics of the bobsled got updated 2 times over that time. This was extremely difficult to get right, but I think in the end I have made something I am really happy with. So as you can see, I have already moved the station instead of being right there to this position here, and we start with a small chain lift. Then you just have these S-bends, and actually the first part is quite long since we just of course go down the mountain the whole time. I have some problems still with of course the clearance of the bobsled. It's so big. Then I decided, well, I'm just going to like cave a hole in the mountain and just go a little bit in. So this is going to be like a cavern sort of ish thing. I don't know exactly what it's going to be. And then of course the last part here is going to be here. It's actually quite a long layout. I am really happy with it. Now the question is, how are we going to theme this? I got some of these props here that are sort of like winter / Christmas related. Of course it's been Christmas, but yeah, there's just not that much that's of course really winter related. So well, let's just see what we're going to cook up. So let's just first place down a foundation, and I'm actually going to extend this foundation all the way over this first part of the chain lift. So as you can see, it's going to be quite a big rectangular station. Now we need to give this like a floor, and I think something like this. Just trust the process, guys. It is hopefully going to look very cool. All right, then let's have a look at these brick walls, since we probably have to use these again. So I don't think we really have any better walls. We will try to paint these a similar color. I don't want this to be like a very dark building, so I guess actually this probably will work quite good. And I think on the front we can probably add a little bit of an extra room here, just so the whole building isn't like one big rectangular, which well, looks a little bit weird of course. And then we of course are going to use actually these brick windows, not that color. Now of course, building without any game passes makes me very limited what I'm actually able to do, so I'm going to try and make this building as good as possible. But I actually haven't told you what the theme of this, well, I guess sort of area is going to be. It's very difficult to come up with a theme for, of course, snowy things without any game passes. There is just not that much you can do. So this is kind of all the pieces you have, and I was like, there's nothing really that like works. So we are going to be building a snow factory, which can work very good, and I think it will, but I have no idea how it's going to look or what I'm building. I'm literally just doing something completely random. I have no reference, so yeah, let's just hope this is going to look good. Yeah, there are going to be some problems with, of course, the clearance of this roller coasters. As you can see, I'm not allowed to place, well, any piece here, but I should be able to go over here. Yeah, that does work. So I guess, well, actually, that seems to fit quite nice. So yeah, the coaster will go out here, out of the factory, and I guess you can see this maybe as like a big snowball rolling around, or whatever it might be. I guess then the windows are going to be very big, but I think that can work. And then this is just going to go up very high. Of course, we do have a problem here too, but that's basically the highest we can go. So I don't want to go that high. We probably have to go like too lower for this part here, because we still actually need the roof. Quickly make like a quick drawing of how I want to have the roof. I hope I can place this one here. I can, and then the other roof will go down like that. And then we sort of have like the roof that's going to go on here. Now these windows are of course extremely plain at the moment. We will be adding like some decoration on top of it, like we've done with of course all these other buildings. But this is mainly just the skeleton of the building, which, to be fair, actually doesn't look too bad. This is going to be interesting. Of course, now there's nothing that actually relates to a snow factory, but I have some very cool ideas to actually show that, which we'll be doing in a little bit. Let me now just fix some of these ugly things in the roof, and then we'll add some more decoration. Okay, now that the roof is in, I've also added this sort of rounded thing here just to shape it up a little bit more. I cannot place anything here because, of course, the collision with this coaster, which are so big, which is a little bit annoying. I can maybe actually try to fix that. Okay, let's actually see if that fixed it. Ah, yes, that did it. All right, well, that's great. And now it's time to actually add some of the, well, more detail to this building since, well, to be fair, this is looking very strange. So let's start with actually adding these windows in. So for that, we will just be using these glass panels. I think something like this looks good. Then we just select all of these, and then we, of course, can easily copy and paste it over to every single window. And then we actually need, of course, a frame around the glass. So I think if we do that with like wood, this can actually look pretty good. I'm not sure if I want to use just like the thin one or actually like the thicker one so it sticks out a little bit. Oh no, definitely the thick one. Now I'm sadly not able to use any of these like other beams through there. So how am I going to make that look better? Maybe we can do these small ones at the middle and then we do these big thick ones at the side. And then I guess these big metal ones all the way go down. I actually do want these darker colors. I actually think this looks very nice. It does start to make it a lot more industrial, which I do want a little bit. And I think it does look very nice with actually the roof color. Alright, there we go. Now, of course, the only thing that's left to do is select all of these pieces again and copy and paste this to the rest of the windows. Sadly, I am not allowed to place any of the poles here, so I guess it's just going to be missing here. I guess that's the only downside, of course, No Gamepass, that there's quite some stuff where that happens. Then it's time to add a little bit more detail actually to the build set. The whole bottom, I'm actually going to add sort of these like metal frames. So it just looks a little bit stronger and of course a lot more detailed in that way. All right, there we go. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with the queue yet. I will see that in a little bit. All right, we start to have now actually quite a nice looking building. I'm going to add a lot more detail, but we do of course need some chimneys. Of course, this is sort of a chimney, but not really. Okay, so now it's time to build 3 tall towers, and then we are going to search for snow machines, and then we'll just get the snow cannon and place that on top of here. There we go. And now we have sort of a lot of snow. It is a lot, I do agree with that, but I do think it looks very nice. Maybe I just keep it to 1 and the other ones will just be like snow falling. Yeah, I think that's a lot better. And then of course this whole area is going to have some snow. Okay, now we have sort of these snow cannons, at least on the back, so you can sort of see where the snow. I would love to have these like come higher up behind the building, but sadly the building is just so tall that I can't really. And maybe I should have lowered the building even more, but I think the building being this high actually makes it look very nice. Now it's time to just add a ton of signs, ladders, like just sort of what we did of course with this building. Just add a lot more like those smaller details on that, and then I will be back with you. Okay, with some added detail on the outside, I'm probably going to add some more detail off screen. I actually want to quickly, before I'm going to end this video, do some of the inside, since of course this is looking a little bit strange. So I think actually adding some of like these metal sort of supports up here can be looking very nice. The only problem is, now that I look at it, is that I'm not really allowed to place that here. I guess I can make a slightly different design for that. There we go. Now you have also something like that in here, and now it's time to actually place some of these lamps, and I think up in here is just the perfect place to place, of course, these lamps. There we go. Now that also has actually some light. This is actually starting to become very cool, but sadly that's all the time I have for today. Building this roller coaster took so much time. Next episode we will finish the station and actually start working on the area right behind here. But guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe on my channel, guys. And I will say, as always, goodbye.